All right, good morning, everybody. We just got the thumbs up from the universe. We can roll. All right, so we are blessed this morning to have licensed Unity teacher Hank Lewis as our speaker today. Yay, Hank. And our music today is Kathy DeWitt. Our board member on duty today is Rupauli Robinson. She's out in the lobby doing her work. And our prayer chaplain today is Dee Mitchell, and she will be available to pray with you after the service. Yay, Dee. All right, so please check out our website and the e-blast that Sue Young sends out every Friday morning for upcoming events. Our service today is being live streamed through Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube. And due to the increase of COVID and all this other nonsense, we are requiring that you wear masks while you're in the church. We got to stay safe and healthy as we can. Okay, so, and hand sanitizers are available out there. Okay. Thank you for your patience and understanding as we work to prevent this. All right. So this afternoon, one of my announcements is to tell you about a special treat we have. It's at 1 o'clock, right, Steve? Steve Henry over here is going to demonstrate and do a workshop on the sound, alternative healing through sacred sound. Steve is a skilled practitioner in vibrational attunement. He will demonstrate how the mystical vibrations from the quartz and the Tibetan singing bowls can help to evoke increased energy, release emotional blocks, and foster contentment. This process helps to integrate and align the whole body system. It's a great opportunity to spend a pleasant time this afternoon that will lift you up in mind, body, and spirit. And we ask for a love offering of $15 is appreciated. If you can do it, give as you are guided from your heart. It starts at 1, which means you have time to run off and get a bite to eat if you need to and run back. So, okay, Mr. Hank Lewis will open us up with an opening prayer.
Join me as we pray together. Loving Spirit, we come in gratitude. Gratitude for all that we have, gratitude for who we are. We come in gratitude for this place where we can come to worship together, to praise together, to fellowship together, and to just enjoy each other's company. And we know that there's only one power and one presence in the universe and in our lives, and that is God, the good omnipotent. An affirmation that we'll stay in just a little while together. And as we acknowledge that there's not only just the one God, there's just one, and that we are all one. We are all a part of the other. And for that, we are grateful. And so it is. Amen.
Kathy will get us going. Just before you start, Kathy, I want to thank the brilliant person who put the rose in the note there in honor of Jean Wiley. And I would like us to all give her a hug, an air hug in spirit and space. Thank you, Jean.
So we had so much fun with this song last week. I thought we would do it again. It's kind of a nice, fun opening song by Daniel Nemad, the great Daniel Nemad, called My Soul is Welcome Here. You might want to stand up and dance around a little bit on this one.
I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. You're in the right place, together at the right time, just where you're supposed to be. You're in the right place at the right time, just where you're supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. We are in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. We're in the right place at the right time, just where we're supposed to be. All my souls are welcome here. All souls are welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. My soul is welcome. Your soul is welcome here. Your soul is welcome here. Our souls are welcome here. Our souls are welcome here. My place, right time, my place, right time.
Thank you, Kathy. All right, so will you all please join me in our affirmation? For unity affirmation, there is only one power and one presence in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. All right, and this morning's daily word is called awareness. The world feels new as I grow in awareness. Spending time in mindful contemplation increases my awareness of my surroundings. As I concentrate and focus my attention, I shut out distractions and settle my unquiet mind. My world begins to feel brighter, vibrant, and more alive as I notice the soft sounds and minute textures and colors I overlooked before. Spending time in prayer increases my awareness of God's goodness, which I share with others when I am patient and kind, generous and forgiving. This goodness returns to me as kindness and gentleness in the people I meet, and ease and grace in all the places I go. The world has not changed, but I have. My awareness of God in and as my life has opened my eyes and ears, my mind and my heart. From Psalm 119:18, open my eyes that I may see. Not really, but anyway, it does say open my eyes, so that I may behold wondrous things out of your law. Thanks. And then we have another song from Kathy.
This song is written by Gordon Burnham in 1997 and become quite a unity standard, I think. It's some places. It's called It's All Inside Me.
There's a heart that will never turn away. There's a love that I know is here to stay. There's a peace that will fill the world one day. And it's all inside me. There's a friend who will always care for me. Every hour of my life, be there for me. There's a strength that will always carry me, and it's all inside me. And I long through my way to the place that is mine. All the love and the light I need, wait for me here inside. There's a faith that will see me through each day. There's a word that is here each time I pray. There's a song that you hear your soul today, and it's all inside me. There's a spirit divine that never fades. There's a light that will shine eternally. There's a dream of the world in harmony, and it's all inside me. And I know I will find my way to the peace that is mine. All the love and the light I need, wait for me here inside. Inside.
Thank you so much, Kathy. There's a love, a light, a peace that is waiting inside of me. There's a light that will shine eternally. There's a dream and a world harmony. There's a heart that will not turn away. A love that is here to stay, a peace that will fulfill one day. A peace that will fill the world one day. And it's all inside of me. So what do you think it's waiting for? First line of the song says, all of these things are inside of me, and it's waiting. This is the part where you really get to answer. What do you think it's waiting on? Me, exactly. Thank you. Short and to the point. There we go. It's all inside of us, and it's waiting on us. So this morning, we're going to look at the power of will. The power that we have to make choices. That's the part of will we're going to look at this morning. And you've already made choices this morning. You got up. You made a decision to come here as opposed to watching online in your jammies or your shorts. Put on real clothes. Showed up, put on your mask. That's a part of it. That's a part of will. That's a part of the choices that we get to make every day. It's our power to choose that we're going to be looking at this morning. So it's told the story of this really inexperienced young minister. He didn't have a clue what he was doing. That would be most of us. I will help you know. When we're first starting out, you get invited to do all kinds of interesting things like a christening or a memorial service or a wedding. And when it's your first one, you sweat a lot because you have no clue. And you borrow something from one of your fellow ministers and they let you graciously use it and you give it your best shot. Well, this young minister was invited to do a memorial service at Pauper's Field for someone who had passed away, who was indigent, who had no friends, no family. And he agreed to do it and he set out on his way and he got lost. This was before smartphones and GPS. He had no idea where he was going. And he got lost and he was wandering around in the woods. And he finally just said, should I go home or should I keep going? So he used the choice ability that he had and he made a decision to keep going. And eventually he found the place that he thought he was supposed to be. And he was an hour late. So no hearse was there. No family and friends, which was expected. Just him. And sitting off to the side were a number of workers. So he walks over to where the hole had been dug and he noticed that the top was already on the coffin area. And the backhoe was still sitting there to fill in. And he thought again, should I just go ahead and do my talk or just let it go? But he decided he was prepared and this was his first shot. So he gave this eloquently long talk over the deceased, and he was going to send them off in grand style. So he did. And he talked, and he talked, and he talked. And when he was done, he was so excited about what he had done and so proud of himself. And he starts to walk toward his car. And as he's going there, he hears one of the workmen say, I've been installing septic tanks for 20 years, and I ain't never seen anything like that. You know, sometimes we make great and right choices, and it doesn't quite turn out the way we thought it was going to. So this young minister was a little confused. He showed up at the wrong place, and he did a wonderful send-off for the septic tank. I've had days like that. I'm going to trust I'm not alone having them in this room, that some of you have as well. Choice is our ability to desire one possibility over another. He made the choice to keep going. That was a part of his calling. We make choice from all the possibilities that are out there. We decide what it is we're going to do. And we decide exactly what we desire. So the word desire seems to have a bad taste for a lot of people, but we desire things. It is a part of who we are. So I have another question for you this morning. You don't have to answer this one. If you had to choose between eating tacos every day and being skinny, what would you choose? Beef or chicken? Now, some of you would choose the vegetarian option, I get that. But you can see I did not choose the skinny version. Most of us have choices that we get to make over and over, and some of them are just that simple. But sometimes it's a much more difficult choice. As we look at choice, we understand that it's both a part of who we are as humans and who we are as the divine. We make choices from both of those natures in us. Our divine, we choose when we're going to express and expand our consciousness. We choose the expansion of our consciousness on a regular basis, or we choose not to. From our humanness, our human nature, it's often that divine discontent that pulls us forward toward consciousness and intentionality in our lives. So for me, I've shared with you before, becoming an LUT didn't really make a lot of sense. It didn't do anything for me that I could write down and say to people, this is what it's going to do. But it was exactly what I was supposed to do. It was the choice that was given to me and the one that I knew I was to make. And I get to publicly say, thank you, Carla. I've never had the privilege of doing this with you present, but Carla taught 4 of my LUT classes and helped guide me along the way. Thank you, my friend. You have a new LUT too. Did you guys know that? Steve is hiding in the back behind all that equipment, but a brand new LUT that I know was voted on Thursday by the board. So we're good to go now, bud. It's my honor to work with LUTs in the region. And that's a choice that I got to make among all the different things I have to do in my world and the things that are going on. That is one of my favorite things to do. Thank you for that as well, because Carla was the rep right before me. We get to make all kinds of choices, and we make it based on our desires. Job 22:21 says, agree with God and be at peace. In this way, good will come to you. Agree with God and be at peace. In this way, good will come to you. So when we talk about agreeing with God in unity, we don't believe in dualism. There's not a God sitting up on a cloud somewhere. There's the God in us. There's the Christ presence that's in every one of us. And what this verse means is align our mind with the Christ presence that's within us. Align our mind with the beingness that is God. And be at peace that the choices we have made are the right one for that moment. Doesn't mean you're not going to change your mind later. Doesn't mean you're not going to do something different later, but it means for right now, it is the choice we are to make. Because we fail to remember that we are each perfect, we are each whole, and we are each complete, just as we are right now. You are perfect and whole and complete in this moment. Is there still stuff we need to learn? Absolutely. Can we end up going backwards a little every now and then? Truthfully, no. Because you've already been raised to this level of consciousness. You might stop where you are, but we will always continue to grow, I believe. But remember that you are perfect and you are whole and complete. And when we get to make a choice and agree with God in that choice, we align our spirit with the desires of that indwelling Christ, and we move forward. In Living the Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes said, our divine inheritance is self-sufficiency, perfection, peace, wholeness. And this must also include abundance, self-expression, accomplishment, and happiness. The nature of God is wholeness. The nature of wholeness is happiness. The nature of happiness is peace. The nature of peace is harmony. And the nature of harmony is joy. As spiritual beings having a spiritual experience, sometimes we forget who we are. I forget who is inside of me and what all is inside of me. I forget the path that I'm on. And sometimes I just don't simply want to agree with God on stuff. I might know what's right, and I might know exactly what I probably should do, but I make another choice over here. Again, I'm sure I'm the only one who does that, but that's okay. Just sharing that with you. Sometimes we all get to that point. But as a spiritual being having a human experience, that's expected. Because in addition to all of the things that are inside us that are godly, we also inherited biologically from our family, from our ancestors. So the trauma that came to us from our ancestors is still with us until we decide to deal with it. We're the ones who have to decide how much of that trauma can I get rid of for the next generation? Or am I okay with it? But we're inheriting that from ancestors who lived long ago. The Hebrew scriptures talk about the sins of the father being passed on to the sons, even to the third and the fourth generation. So metaphysically, what we would say is the trauma that's in the family is passed down from generation to generation until someone decides and makes the choice that that's enough and we're going to deal with it. Steve is going to do vibrational energy work. That's a part of getting rid of that trauma, of letting go of things that we inherited from others so that we don't pass them down to the next generation. We stop the cycle. We eliminate the trauma by doing the deep work that we're called to do to heal ourselves and to thus heal the world. And that deep trauma can include a whole lot of forgiveness work, where we forgive not only others, but forgive ourselves. We step forward and step up to do that work. We make the choice to do the work that needs to be done. There are areas where we get to work on in this earthly experience, but everything that we need to heal ourselves is already inside of us. It's all there. How many of you have been to Unity Village? Just curious. Great. So did you get to go to the Fillmore Chapel? Do you know where that one is? So the Fillmore Chapel is the only place on the campus at the village where both of our co-founders, Charles and Merle Fillmore, spoke and prayed and talked. So it's a really cool place for me. It's art fresco built in the 1920s. Everything in the room was hand painted, all the walls, all the designs on them. And when it was redone, it was hand painted again. And I had the privilege to stand on the stage and speak at one of the services while I was there one time. And it's just a super energy that you get only in Unity places, only in New Thought places, where you get the energy and the power and the vibrational feelings that you're there. That's my second favorite place in the village. If you're standing on the stage and you look to the right, there's doors that go to the Unity Peace Chapel. That's my favorite place. It's 6 seats that are horribly uncomfortable. I don't know if they were designed that way or not. I'm sure they were very pretty in the 1920s, but they're not so comfortable for someone of size. But there's a big painting on the front that just says, "Peace, be still." It is the place that most people are in, or the most visited place on campus. It's where you go when you just want to be calm. It's where I went before every test and every presentation I had to do while I was at the village. It was my calming place. In 2017, while I was in the village, and I stood in that stage, I looked over on the other side. And on the right, there's doors just like the ones on the left. On the left, they were just like the ones on the right. So I was curious what was in those doors. I'm also nosy. So when everybody left, I opened the doors and I looked in to see what was on the left side. Anybody know what's in there? For those of you who visited? Junk. It's a storage room. Got desks and chairs and microphones and equipment. And I got to tell you, that was disappointing. I thought, that's horrible. How would they use this beautiful space? It's identical to the Peace Chapel. And they got junk in there, storage. So the next morning for our time of meditation, I went down and sat in the Fillmore Chapel. And I had all these crazy thoughts going through my head. So the first day, it was like, what a waste of space. They could have made that into something really cool. It's kind of like wasting it spiritually. This is just what was going through the brain. Day 2. Actually, that's a pretty good use of space. It's right next to the stage, and that stuff has to go somewhere. Day 3. From the Tao, the yin and the yang balance. I understand that in all of our lives, sometimes there's a junk room. My partner and our dog just walked outside, but he can probably hear me when I say, at home, lots of junk rooms or drawers. I'm sure, again, I'm the only one, but betting you got a few too. So I was thinking about balance and understanding that it's like humans, we're on our own journey. We're each on our journey. That's what they're where they're supposed to be. There's no point in trying to make it different than what it is. So I finally came back to that power of will and of choice and of desire, aligning myself with God within, the Christ presence in me, and realized that just because I wanted that room to be something different, it was exactly what it's supposed to be, exactly where it was supposed to be. And that caused me to think of how I like to want to see others change. I'm sure, again, you guys don't do that. But there are parts of people in my family that I'd like to change. Right? Let's see, I want them to change my way. I don't just want you to change. I want you to change to be exactly who I want you to be and the way I want you to be. So how many of you have ever made a major change in yourself? How long did it take? Years, yeah. So what in the world makes me think I'm changing anybody else when it took that long to change me? That's a part of the desire, though, where I get it wrong. I desire for you to change and to change just like I want you to. Doesn't work that way. Just like those rooms being different. Each of us is different. Each of us is on our journey. And when my brain calmed down and I realized that someone at Unity Village had made a good choice to make that a junk room, a storage space, and I could find the balance in those things, I just kept coming back to me. It's just like what's inside of me. And the most startling revelation of that week there was that that room on the left, the junk room, was just as spiritual as the room on the right. And the same is true in each of us. The part of us that is our junk room inside, the part of us that we get to release on occasion and get rid of it when it no longer serves us, is just as spiritual as the most spiritual part of us that we can think of. It's all spiritual. Some of what is inside of us is just fun. I'm lousy at fun. I am not spontaneous. Me, a fun trip is something I planned out for 6 months and then, carefully did each moment of it. Yeah, shame my partner's not in here now. He'd shake his head really vigorously at that. But reality is, it's not something I have mastered yet, but I'm working on it. I'm getting better. I'm 62 now. I figure by the time I hit my 80s, I might be good at fun, but I'm not sure. We'll keep trying and we'll keep seeing. But there's fun inside of me, just like there's fun inside of each of you. And it really shouldn't concern us what other people do for fun. We should just let people enjoy their life. Let people live their life. Some of what's inside me is that storage closet. And as I said, we get to release it bit by bit. Some of it is bad choices that I've made. A lot of it is great choices that I've made. It's realizing, though, that everything that's in me is already there. All that I need is there. The 12 powers that we've been talking about this year are already there. The executive power of will, of making choices, is an inherent part of who I am. After hearing a lecture by E.B. Weeks and claiming she was a child of God and did not inherit sickness, Unity's co-founder Myrtle Fillmore began a process of talking to her body, speaking herself to health. This is one of the things she said. I went to all the life centers in my body and spoke words of truth to them, words of strength and power. I asked their forgiveness for the foolish, ignorant courses that I had pursued in the past, when I had condemned them and called them weak, inefficient, and diseased. I did not become discouraged at their being slow to wake up, but kept right on, both silently and aloud, declaring words of truth until the organs responded. And neither did I forget to tell them that they were free, unlimited spirit. I told them that they were no longer in bondage to the carnal mind, that they were not corruptible flesh, but centers of life and energy omnipresent. In the power of will, this statement from all that Myrtle said. I did not become discouraged at their being slow to wake up, but kept right on. Myrtle Fillmore understood the power of will. She understood the need for a sustained, consistent effort for healing. Consistent work and effort to acknowledge that everything is spiritual. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. May we also use our power of will and of choice to move forward and to not be discouraged. Let us be like Myrtle. And so it is. Namaste.
Thank you for invoking Unity Village. I love that place so much. Last 2 years, the Posy Festival was supposed to be held there and it's been postponed each time. So I loved getting to see it in my mind as you spoke about it. Even the room with the mic stands. For a meditation song that we would do, Sanctuary. God prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
14th century poet Hafez said, one day the sun admitted, I'm just a shadow. I wish I could show you the infinite incandescence that has cast my brilliant image. And then he went on to say, I wish that I could show you, when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. We each possess those 12 powers. Each of us is an astonishing light, a being possessed by the Christ presence, living in us, expressing through us. We each possess a heart that won't turn away, a love that is here to stay, and a peace that will fill the world one day. I invite you now to join me in a time of silence and to set an intention to lead our world to a place that is full of love and peace and harmony and grace. And also your life full of beauty and astonishing light. Join me now in a time of silence. As we come back into this present moment, I invite you to open your eyes and realize what a bright light you are in this world, and challenge you to go forth and shine your light of love and grace and peace to everyone around you. And so it is. Amen.
It's kind of a song we often do at the offertory and the blessing of the children. And so I thought people like this song and maybe we do it again. We haven't done it for a while. And it also talks about the light that's inside us, and it's our job to take it out to the rest of the world.
Okay, well, let me do the offertory blessing real
Hmm?
quick. I want to do the offertory blessing and then you do the song. Is that good?
Sure, either way.
Okay. Will you all join me by expressing your gratitude? Oh. divine love expressed through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Father, Mother God, and thank you, Hank. That was excellent talk. It left me speechless, which is why I got up here speechless. But anyway, thanks, Kathy.
I think Gwen's probably still with the children, but maybe she'll hear this if we sing it really loud. So stand up if you want.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Unity of Gainesville, I'm gonna let it shine. Unity of Gainesville, I'm gonna let it shine. Unity of Gainesville, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around the world, all around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everything I do, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Yeehaw. Thank you. All right, so please join me in the blessing of the children, and then Gwen will share her wisdom with us. All right, children, we love you.
We bless you.
We bless
We
you.
bless you.
We appreciate
We
you,
appreciate you.
and we see you doing wondrous things.
We see you doing wondrous things.
We love you. We love you. We really, really love you.
My good friend Gabe came back today. Welcome, Gabe. And we still brought in our representation of all the girls and boys, and Steve brought us around the world, a globe. And Gabe took the globe and he said, I know something really interesting. So he got the globe and he found the tiniest island off of Yemen. And it's Socotra, I believe is what the name is. And what he said was so interesting about this is the trees that are only found there are called dragon blood trees, because when you cut the bark, it bleeds red, and they're endangered. So I learned something really cool today. I don't know what he learned, but I brought a school survival kit. And so we'd like to share. Can you take one out and send it to me? To help you lick any obstacles, a sucker. Find something to celebrate every day. Write your own life story. Prayer is a lifesaver. You are valuable and special. It's a penny. Always try your best. You're a star, so aim high. Starburst. Always be kind. Uh-oh, something off. It's okay to make mistakes. You have an eraser. Treat others as you would like to be treated. Stick with your goals. You're a smarty. Let your light shine. It's a highlighter. So he's got it all set for school now. Thank you.
That is an awesome survival kit.
Mm.
And now Hank will do a closing prayer for us. And thank you all for being here today.
Join me as we pray together. Loving God, wonderful Spirit, living in us, expressing through us and as us, allow us to be the very best that we can be by aligning ourselves with the Spirit. May we shine our light and be an astounding light to those around us, showing them a path that may be new for them, but allowing them to know that we are all on our own journey, not competing with one another, simply living our life. And so it is. Amen.
I believe we're doing two songs.
You were going to sing the peace song?
Yeah, is that good?
You can
Well, I
stand if you want.
Circle up and do your
We're not-
elbows.
We're not really circling and holding hands. We don't do
Right.
that right now, but
Yes.
stand up and
I mean, we recommend skip the hand holding.
just feel each other's energy and fill the room with your light.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. You take each moment, let each moment be prayer protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God comforts us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.